Greetings, everyone. RetroIndieGamer here, and today I'm reviewing a game for an NES game called Rad Racer, known in Japan as Highway Star, which was released in the U.S. by Square in 1987. Yes, I said Square, as in the same company that made Final Fantasy. Yeah, this is one of their pre-Final Fantasy games, and probably their only game from maybe before the original Final Fantasy that did any good. As a lot of games didn't do very well, but for some reason this one did. As this thing, probably because there aren't that many. I don't think there were that many decent NES racing games at the time, and this is one of the few 3D ones. Yeah, and if you look at Square's early history, yeah, they didn't really do terribly well. And Final Fantasy was a last-ditch effort, which happened to save the company. As the name of that game came to the fact that they are they're at the end, and they didn't think they'd be able to make any more games. Yeah, they've had a lot. They had a lot of really old games. They had this, and I think they had 3D World Runner, which I already reviewed earlier. Interestingly, that one also has an early attempt at 3D like this game. And both games do it very well. Ah! So yeah, this is a pretty fun racing game. Controls are simple. You use the control pad to move. You press the A button to accelerate. Whoa! Be a brake. And you press the control pad left or right to move. I think down to help the braking, and up to speed up, which is pretty much essential to completing this game. Yeah, and there are quite a couple tracks in here. Eight tracks in this game total, which is a considerable amount considering this is an NES game. And I made for a couple of them, but I have yet to make it through all 8 of them. Because this game has, as well, it seems that a lot of really old games, especially arcade and NES games, did. They start out easy, then almost no time flat, as in a couple stages later, and pretty much no time flat. The difficulty is amped up to a point when it seems almost impossible to get through. If this game is the #1 game, this game does that. So in this case, it's around race 4 or 5. So about halfway. Then they really amp the difficulty up to a point when it's like, what the hell? Well, at least not as bad as some games with bad difficulty balancing, like the original Street Fighter. Yeah, now that's the one which they really which the difficulty was not balanceable at all. I mean, the first fight was ridiculously easy. Then the next fight was almost impossible. This game is a little better than that. This game is beatable. Whee! Get through, get around this car. Whoa, 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 whoa! And I like his music. It seems it's one thing that happens that you see a lot of Square games. Really good music. Yeah, Square's games usually have a lot of really good music, even as far back as the NES days. Oh, here comes track 2, which is probably my personal favorite. Oh, I really like this one, because I think it's San Francisco. I mean, I like the night view. Yeah, it's interesting seeing how many of Square's early games have this pseudo 3D thing, which they sort of repeated even in some of their Super Nintendo games, with the with games like Final Fantasy IV that use the Mode 7, which had a almost pseudo 3D thing for the map. Yeah, for your whole map. Got a scar. Whoa, whoa! Some of the cars look nice here. Yeah, interestingly, other NES games, and I played a lot of those. Then, though I haven't played the first game, they're released here, King's Knight. Though I plan on playing that at one point. I played most other ones like this, 3D World Runner. Oh, another one I probably had to try at one point is the second Rad Racer. Yes, they made a sequel. I mean, given how popular this game was, that's not really a surprise. I mean, this is one of the most popular NES games. And easily one of the best racing games. And definitely one that I enjoyed from my childhood. I mean, in fact, when I got the NES clone thing I got not too long ago, I made sure this was one of the first games I got. I mean, because this game's extremely common. And cheap. As a lot of NES games are, because they made so many, because some of them, especially the really old ones, they made so many copies of them that it's easy to, it's probably easy for collectors to end up with a whole bunch of them. Especially for the black box games, but anyway, not going to that discussion. Interestingly, I played a lot of Square's older NES games, including the first three, this, World Runner, and the first three Final Fantasies! And interestingly, the only one I can't really seem to get into is the NES version of the original Final Fantasy. I mean, for some reason, I didn't like that version that much. And there's not that there's anything wrong with Final Fantasy. It's a great game, especially with some of the remakes for later consoles. Ugh! Let's good. This has the same thing you can do. So Mario Brothers, if you press A and start, you can start the same stage instead of starting over. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for some reason, the NES version of the original Final Fantasy is probably one of the few Square games I can't really seem to get into that much. Because, I mean, it's not to say I don't like the game. I mean, I enjoy some of the remakes of the original Final Fantasy. Like the Game Boy Advance version. And I haven't yet played the PlayStation version, though I plan on doing so at one point. But the NES version of Final Fantasy, that version's not aged well at all. Well, the graphics look good, look decent for a time. I mean, they use the same graphics pretty much in the first three Final Fantasies. But the graphics, the thing that really kills the original game for me is its battle system. I mean, I'm not going to go into that much detail on this one and that one because this is Rad Racer, not Final Fantasy. But the battle system in that game has definitely not aged well at all. I mean, there's a lot of other NES RPGs in which their battle systems and the game itself have aged slightly better, including including the original Dragon Quest for NES, which you notice on the cartridges of that particular game have not aged well. The game itself has aged relatively well, except for a few minor annoyances. Nothing like the battle system in the original Final Fantasy. But it's aged relatively well, especially in comparison to a game that came out later in the NES lifespan. I mean, if I remember correctly, when Final Fantasy came out in North America, the NES was reaching the end of its lifespan. Which is part of the reason why the NES sequels never came out here in the original form. Mostly because of when they were made, they really didn't stand much of a chance of being localized. So that's what I'm going to talk about another time. Rad Racer. Yeah, this game rocks. And the controls work really well. And considering how simple the controls are, I find it really interesting that this is probably one of the few games that the Power Glove, that's the not so great motion control accessory that the original Mattel made for the original NES. Which only seems that works well with the racing games. Though it might be because at this point in time the sensors. Though I think one of my friends who had the Power Glove at one point mentioned that the main problem with them is that for a lot of them that at this point in time that the sensors don't work well anymore, which actually might explain why a lot of the games don't work well when you're using the Power Glove now, because the thing is because the sensor is so old they don't really work that well. But notice that even back in the day that Rad Racer seems to be one of the few games it works with. And that can be verified by watching the movie The Wizard, in which there's a scene when a person was playing Rad Racer with the Power Glove. It was working pretty well. Especially considering that it was using one of the worst peripherals for NES. On one of the best games, for NES. Shit, it's interesting how many crappy peripherals there were for the NES. Or at least North American one. I mean, looking at the ones in Japan, why couldn't we have gotten some of those? Like the keyboards. That would have been really interesting to see here. Then again, the keyboard came out early enough in the Famicom and NES's lifespan that if Nintendo wanted to or had any reason to release it in the US, No! Oh my god, that was almost fair too. Yeah, but for all likelihood for some of their early peripherals, some of the Famicom peripherals that didn't come out in the US, if Nintendo wanted to release them, I'm sure they would have. I mean, one peripheral that they could have used was some sort of microphones you use with the NES. And the reason for that one, some of you might remember if you've read the manual for the NES version of the original Legend of Zelda. That said that that the pulse voice enemies could only be defeated by loud sounds, which existed in the Japanese version because the Famicom has a microphone, but the NES controllers do not. So that was removed, and the weakness was changed to arrows instead of loud sounds. But it would have been interesting to see an NES peripheral that uses a microphone. So I guess in the long run, the arrows worked better for US releases because it allowed for the same weakness to exist in later ports of the game for GameCube and Game Boy Advance. So the GameCube got a microphone peripheral for one of its pinball games pretty late in its lifespan. So who knows? And I wonder if the NES had any sort of racing wheel. It would have been really nice for this game in particular. This and other racing games, in which there are a couple, and only a few ones that were any good, like this. I mean, this one, everything shines really well. The graphics, the gameplay, the sound. I mean, and I really love the night stages, especially this one. I mean, all that neon green and those lights in the background. And what else things moving? Whoa, cars moving in that over here? Yes, I just noticed that there was a couple pixels that seemed to be moving beneath the buildings every now and again. I wonder if those are supposed to be cars. I can't see them now since you're going up a hill. Hmm. Yeah, I think those might be cars in the background. It would fit, being this is a city at night. Avoid the cars! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Just avoid the cars. Yeah, I think yeah. So this is supposed to be San Francisco. I'm guessing that bridge there is supposed to be the Golden Gate Bridge. It's hard to see, considering this is an NES game at a night stage, and you're looking at it from a distance. It still looks really nice. Let's see, get first race. Around these cars. Whoa, whoa! Oh! Right to the sign that says turn left. Which I think they might be trying to go for the authenticity of the road. Or they're just trying to be funny. Or just placed there for no reason. Oh, come on. Already? Yeah, I forgot to mention one of the other problems in some later stages. It seems that they don't give you enough time to get to the end of the stage. Or to get between checkpoints. Or barely enough that you'll only be able to get through if you're extremely lucky. I mean, it's extremely irritating in a game which the only way you can get past a certain point is via luck. Which is almost a sign of bad game design. If you had to rely on luck to get through a certain segment. For a lot of games, really amps up the difficulty in later stages. I mean, try getting through with many of the later stages in Pac-Man. You had to be extremely skilled to get through those stages, especially getting through all 200-something stages of that game. Get on the cars. Get through these guys. Whoa, it's almost like my time can cut down. Got for no checkered flag. Yeah, when you see a checkered flag in this game, either means that they're at the end of the race, or you've reached a checkpoint and you get more time. Which is really nice. Whoa. Get through. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Go around this car. I can't. Whoa, whoa, whoa. For some reason, it's extremely easy to crash in this stage. More so in the first stage. Then again, it did take me years when I was younger to get through that first stage. Let's see, what will happen first? Me getting game over, or me getting through the stage? Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a close shave. Now here's a game that's a blast to play. Let's see, swerve around cars, between cars. Oh, no, no, not a sign! Oh, I hate signs! In this game, at least. So yeah, I probably want to end this review soon. I mean, this game is a blast to play. I mean, I would probably give this game a 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10 easily. This game is one of the racing games of all time, especially for NES. It's still fun to pick up and play every now and again. So if you have an NES or an NES clone of some kind, and you haven't played, I'd recommend give this game. And if you already have this game, that's great. If you don't, I'd recommend looking for this game. It's extremely cheap and easy to find. Perfect place in this game. In this review. Yeah. Rad Racer for NES. I would highly recommend this game. It's a good quality game that's loads of fun. And as bonus, I'll add again insight into what Square was making before Final Fantasy. Well, until next time, everyone.